Hi, this is Dr. Darren Schmidt at the Nutritional Healing Center of Ann Arbor, and I want to share this with you. I've always thought this is very interesting. The word pharmacy is from the Greek pharmakon, which means poison. And I've looked this up in many dictionaries, and there's other words that describe or are in the definition for pharmacy or pharmakon. And so pharmakia is the use of medicine, drugs, or spells. And then I have this quote from Plato, who was around on this planet 400 BC. And Plato, when I read this, he's talking to somebody, and they're talking about drugs, the employment of drugs. And Plato says, "We thought that an inferior physician sufficed for bodies that do not need drugs but yield to diet and regimen." And then he says, "But when it is necessary to prescribe drugs, we know that a more enterprising and venturesome physician is required." So venturesome and bold and more enterprising, like business savvy, physician is required to give somebody a poison to tell them this will help you. So, and the person that Plato is talking to says, "True, but what is the pertinency? Like, what does it matter?" And Plato says this: "It seems likely that our rulers will have to make considerable use of falsehood and deception." So Plato comes right out and concludes that the prescribing of drugs by physicians was a profitable enterprise protected by the government's falsehood and deception. After all those centuries, nothing has changed. So currently in our society, it's the venturesome physician that's actually using nutrition, because our food supply is so degraded and so filled with toxic chemicals that you really got to study the nutrients in the food and the causes and supply chain and how to repair the body and how to get people to change their diet gradiently and all that stuff. Whereas the physician using drugs just says, "Oh, what symptoms do you have?" and opens up a book and says, "With these symptoms, we're going to call it this disease, and this is the drug that you need." So that's actually quite simple and not getting to the cause, as you know. But the superior physician is using nutrition now. Last quote I want to go over is from the Concordia, which is like the encyclopedia or Bible, or encyclopedia or dictionary, if you will, for the Bible. And when I look up Pharmakon in there, it says, "One of many schemes or strategies of Satan." So when somebody tells you, "Oh, you don't need to change your diet, it doesn't matter," that's total deception. Or if somebody says, "You need this drug," and they ignore any other social or nutritional solutions, which are safe, inexpensive, easy to apply, and they go for the expensive drug that can cause harm, that's also deception. So they get your attention to think towards the poisons and the expensive and the radical and the deadly, instead of getting your thoughts to think towards the conservative, the inexpensive, the tried and the true, the nutrients. Like, that's where all of medicine should be at the beginning. And if somebody completely ignores this, and they eat donuts every morning for 60 years, and now they have diabetes, then they have to go on insulin, which is a medication. But that's because of lack of education at the beginning, or lack of willpower, or just self-destructive behavior, of which you don't want to pay for. And I don't want to pay for that either, because we're working on improving our health, whereas other people are not, and they're going down this destructive spiral. Why would we want to pay for that? So we don't. Alright, so this is just stuff to discuss and reset your mind as to where we're at with our medical society.